Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Chill Builds, where we're working on the city of Dragon Hearth. So this episode I started off by sort of outlining a path up to a little stone plateau up top, and eventually I want to put a castle there, but that's a ways off. I haven't really looked at anything like that. Of course, I've built a lot of stuff in advance, but I haven't built a castle yet. However, I did build a little stable here because every castle's got to have its own personal stable. That's something that I've also earmarked as something I need to build in the actual town for the rest of the townspeople to have, or some stables to build. But this one is the special one for the castle, for all of the knights and the royalty to keep their horses and visitors of the king as they stop by. So this is a pretty simple little building. This is the first, I can't remember how many buildings we've got in this episode, but this is the first one. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I quite liked it. It was a small one, because it's not meant for a whole city, just a few people. So I wanted to do 3 stables, but then I was like, well, I want a balcony up top for them to keep like extra hay or whatever they want to keep. So I actually got rid of the middle one and made it look like maybe it was a stable at one point, but is now just used to get up to the next floor to mess with things. So as you can see, I was thinking about how I wanted to build things there, but there we go. There's the fence for the little balcony there, and then a ladder up so you can get up there. And I filled some hay bales in because you need to feed your horses, and replace that inner one with gravel and pop some horses in, I believe. And then I think that was it. That was all I did. Oh, I lit it up a bit more, of course, because you got to be able to see. Horses have eyes too. And then I built a little bit more of a ramp because this was a little bit lower down than where the castle is going to be. So I built a ramp up so that I'm nice and ready for when the castle is ready to be built. So there we go. I really liked terraforming the paths, though. I liked, sort of thinking about how everything was going to go together and stuff. I was really excited for that. So yeah. So as we're watching this, just to fill the air, I just thought I'd talk about life and stuff. So recently, I was going to work on a production. Recently, for those who don't know, I as a day job I work in film. So I was about to work on a production that was a Western that was going to be filming here in New Mexico. But they just kept running into problem after problem. It was a non-union indie production. So it was kind of low budget, and low budget for the industry is actually close to like $2 million. Click interlude. This is the roof burning that I mentioned in the last episode, where I did not notice this at all. But anyways, I turned on the rain to put all the fire out easier after I cleared some space. And then the rain got turned off, and then I turned it back on again. I know, epic tale. But anyway, so that put out all the fire, or most of the fire, and then I went out and put out the rest on hand. But I still didn't notice that my smithy was on fire. But I turned fire tick off after I was done burning down the forest, so it didn't burn anything else. Just that hole that you saw in the original one. But anyways, back to that production. So they just ran into problem after problem. So we shot for one day before they were like, okay, we're packing up and we're moving to Oklahoma, which sucks because I could not go because they wanted to take crew with them, but I personally could not travel to Oklahoma to do a shoot for a month, unfortunately. But yeah, they really had trouble organizing things. When I first got onto the production, they sent me my start paperwork, and they actually sent me tax forms that were already filled out by somebody else with like their social security number and everything, which is like oh my gosh, what are you doing? So that was probably the first red flag that things were not going to go well with that production. And then come the first day that they were supposed to be shooting, they told me not to show up And then I found out later that they ended up not shooting that day, just because of, I don't even know exactly what the issue was. Something about a car crash, and there was a car stuck on a cliff, and there was a safety issue with that car potentially falling on the production. Something around that. I don't know exactly what it was, but anyways, so then I showed up the next day for the show, and we spent the first 2 hours sitting in the lobby of the production office as everybody ran around the production office trying to find a new location, because that location that they were planning on filming on was not safe, because there was a car there that was going to fall on someone. So eventually they found a location, and we drove out, and we had one good day, and it was good. It was a fun day, but alas, I don't know exactly what happened that made that location not viable either, but we did that one day, and then the next day they were like, we're delaying filming a day, and they didn't tell anyone why. And then, so I got an extra day off. I just sort of slept and chilled and played Minecraft. And then the next day, they told us that it was delayed another day. And then the third day, they called a meeting, they got us all together, and we're like, all right, well, we've run into too many problems here. We're packing up and we're going to Oklahoma. And you can come with us or you cannot. And that was it. And that was the whole... I was really excited to work on that show, and sucks that it fell through. But, that's just how things go. But yeah, so I was looking for work again, building stuff in Minecraft while I was looking. I actually recently I sent an application off to be an extra on the show Big Sky, which is going to be interesting. I don't know what that's going to be about, or anything like that, but they call it background work in the industry. So basically I'm just going to be, in the background of a scene to make it look more alive and stuff. I don't know what's going to happen, what I'm going to do, or anything like that, but the show takes place in Montana, and that's where I grew up, so it should be fun. I'm excited about that. But anyways, so this building, back to the build, so this is the one building that I have so far that has just a solid foundation of stone brick, and then the building on top of it. But as you can see, it sort of tapers out, just like all the other ones. And I built a balcony up here because you can't just put the same old windows up in here and do the same architecture. So everything looks very similar. But this is one of those things that Replay Mod has been doing, where for whatever reason it adds a little bit extra of just frozen time at the end of a render, and that's what that was right there, because you noticed that how the rain wasn't moving either. But anyways, so I have to make the architecture look similar while also making it look different, and then I do want some foliage in these buildings, so there's some leaves there, some spruce leaves, because everything, if you haven't noticed, is all made of spruce, because if you look in the background there, that's where the forest is made out of. When you go down further in the valley, there's a lot less spruce and a lot more oak. And when we start building in the valley, we'll use a lot more oak and stuff like that. But for now, it's all spruce. This is going to be the richer part of the district, or the richer district of the city. So this is going to be where all the rich people live, is up in this corner. As you can see, a friend from the server that we're building on came and stopped by while I was building this building. The plan was to just make it a building, and then there's actually going to be a river where that bit of grass is that's going to flow underneath. And I was just going to make it another house, but then that friend suggested I make it a bridge with a little bit of a house on top. So that's what I did. So I built a bridge here, and then instead of a roof, I built one floor of a house and then a roof. So there's the bridge bit. There's the floor of the bridge, and then I should, at some point, start on the roof. Listen, it's gonna happen here eventually. Give it any minute. This is what I was saying last week, where it's very difficult to keep track of what I'm doing in Replay Mod to, capture everything that I'm doing. It's just, I want this series to be super chill. I want it to be easy to make. I want it to be relaxed, and I just don't want to spend a lot of time trying to get a shot of every single block I've placed down or whatnot. So yeah. So I think actually maybe I just built the house. Oh gosh, I don't know how this is working. This is a weird angle, and I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah. There's a house on top, so I'm thinking like maybe it's gonna be less of a house and more of like maybe a barracks or like a guard quarters, something along those lines. Just because like bridges are for the city, they're city buildings. So let's have it built for a city. So so there's actually a floor. Okay, so there is a floor, then there's a roof. So it could be 2 floors actually above the bridge bit, depending. So yeah, it's meant to be just a way to get across the river without having to circle back around the river that's not there yet, without having to circle back up around that first few buildings we built last episode. So and then we're filling it in with that plaster substance again. I can't remember what the name of that material is, but we mix it with some diorite. And apparently building with diorite is a challenge to a lot of people, but I feel like I've taken on that challenge, and I've taken it to the next level. I don't use a lot, but just a little bit, just to look at that. Add a little extra texture. There's a stray diorite there. There we go. We fixed that. Add some windows. I used some oak trapdoors this time just for some variety, just to sprinkle a little bit of some different woods in there. I used dark oak for all the doors so far in all the builds, just so that there's not just too much spruce everything. I wanted some different things. And then up here, I believe I put some plants, some leaves, right? Yeah, there we go. And that's it. This is a short one. The next episode is actually going to be really long. But here we go. This is me setting up the infrastructure for the river. So as you see, I just built the bridge a little bit longer, and then so there's going to be a waterfall coming down in between those 2 buildings, and then down below the path. So you can see here I'm digging out where the waterfall is going to go down. And then actually widen this out a bit, just because one seemed a bit too small. There's a lot of water gushing down right here. So there we go, just like that. And the anvils, I think the anvils are a really nice touch to a path, honestly. But there we go. That's it. That is episode 2 of Chill Builds. I hope you enjoyed.